And still ahead on our program, we're going to have two parts of a program that talks about franchisors and franchisees. And they have to work really hand in hand to make things work out really well, like any human relationship, I suppose. We're going to be talking about the Franchising and Licensing Association Awards 2022. It was held not too long ago to really recognize brands in the local franchise and license industry. It's in its 16th edition, and we're going to be speaking with two winning companies who have won different awards for the franchisor role that they have played to other franchisees that they work closely with. So we're going to be hearing from Director of KC Group of Companies, which owns the brand K Skin, as well as the Director of Regional Development for Subway Systems. Yes, Subway, you know, the buns?
Nom,
yeah?
nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, the 6 inches and the foot long. So Brian Heng and David Leong will be our guests in just a moment. Right now, though, very quickly, here are the news stories we'll be following in the next hour.
This is Money Mind with Andrea Heng and Stanley Leong.
Thank you for joining us on CNA938's Money Mind. Now, this year's Franchising and Licensing Association Awards was held on the 27th of October to laud the outstanding successes of brands in the local franchise and license industry. The awards, which is in its 16th edition, was launched by the Franchising and Licensing Association Singapore, and it was first launched in 2005.
The awards comprise both competitive and recognition awards and is made up of 11 different categories that honor various stakeholders in the franchise and license industry, namely franchisors, franchisees, and licensors. We speak with representatives of two winning companies now on Money Mind. First up, Brian Heng, Director of KC Group of Companies, which owns the brand K Skin. K Skin was recognized as Promising Franchisor of the Year at the FLA Awards 2022.
That's right. We also have from Subway Systems Singapore, David Leong, who is its Director of Regional Development. Subway Systems won the award for International Franchisor of the Year. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on CNA938.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for making time, both of you. Firstly, let's hear from maybe David first before we hear from Brian as to what the key aspects of being a franchisor of good repute and a franchisor of choice would be. David, your thoughts on this?
Right. I think as a brand owner, I think there's two key elements here. One is the patience and also open communications with our franchisees. You know, the ability to be able to listen to our franchisees is very valuable. You know, we hear from them exactly what are some of their thoughts and what are some of the challenges when they are operating the brand with us. In Subway, we have a few different tools that we use to be able to work closely with the franchisees to understand what are they going through, like our franchisee meetings. We also conduct listening tours where our regional presidents and head of functions will be visiting different countries on a quarterly basis. We will actually go into the restaurant and meet the franchisees and have open communications with them. And then on a yearly basis, we do franchisee surveys, which are so-called anonymous. We will take in the results and then we look at individual of the lines that we look through and what are the areas that we need to improve on. So these are some of the tools that will help us to be able to stay connected with the franchisee, whether is it through face-to-face communications or through surveys.
So really regular and open communications seems like that is really critical to getting a good relationship happening between a franchisor and a franchisee, at least from Subway Systems' perspective. Brian, you're Director of KC Group of Companies and you own the brand K Skin. Tell us more about how you view what would be key aspects to building such a good relationship with the franchisees.
Hi, good morning. Yes, I do concur with David in terms of having good communications. We have to keep our communication channels open and definitely to gain feedback, from our franchisees and further on improve ourselves. And more importantly, we have to continue to engage and communicate our strategies clearly with our franchisees. Secondly, we also like to continue to keep progressing because things move very quickly, and especially so, for example, payment trends right now has very much moved into e-payments, and people are getting very used to paying online. So we have to keep looking at how the trends are moving, and we have to evolve together with the brand.
All right, Brian, staying with you, what does the award that your company has received speak of how you operate as a franchisor? Are there certain honorable and noteworthy qualities that the awards testify to?
Yes. Thank you. We are so thankful for winning the Promising Franchisor of the Year 2022. Let me just give you a brief idea of our company, KC Group of Companies. By the grace of God, we are the largest chain of hair and beauty salons in Singapore with a total of 160 shops, and we are still growing. So one of the most notable brands is actually K-Cuts, the 10 Minutes Quick Cut, which we have successfully franchised with about 70 shops all across Singapore. So coming back, in a sense, to the main attribute is definitely trust. Over the 9 years, KC Group has built up strong relationships with our stakeholders such as suppliers, franchisees, employees, and definitely landlords. So with the trust that's built, right, our franchisees were able to grow with us at a much faster pace. So we started K-Skin, in fact, in August 2020. Right now, in the midst of COVID, in just around 2 years, K-Skin has established 33 shops with another 7 new shops opening soon, and thus bringing this to a total of 40 shops. In fact, we have 4 pairs of franchisees now operating 2 or more shops with us.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. In fact, Stanley made a visit to one of your outlets yesterday, I believe.
Wow,
only because I knew I was going to be interviewing you, and I thought, I should try it for myself. I've tried Subway burgers before. I've tried Subway sandwiches. So I needed to try K-Skin as well. Yeah.
Speaking of Subway sandwiches, David, what do you think the award that you received speaks of how you operate as a franchisor? What are the traits that you think this award points to?
I think, first of all, it's an honor to be able to receive this award on behalf of Subway. And it's also more honorable to be able to rank and place together with the rest of the past honoree. These are the recognition that the brand has done by the franchising committees in Singapore itself. As part of the brand, we continue to evolve to be relevant, and this pandemic has changed a lot of our plans, and it has made it even harder for both franchisees and the brands itself. The good thing is that the pandemic has made us stronger together with the franchisees. This is not the end, but to us, it's a new beginning. It's a new norm that pushes us as a brand to do more to support the franchisees community in the industry at the same time. Spending more time with the franchisees, listening to them, and working together with them as part of a committee in Subway to grow the brand is one of our goals and our mission for 2022 and 2023 moving forward.
David, your organization won the award for International Franchisor of the Year. Tell us the criteria. What were you assessed on? Why do you think you fared well in this category?
Being Subway is one of the largest international brand. We have more than 36,000 restaurants worldwide. We one of the good internal system that we have set is that we are able to learn from other regions at the same time. Taking best practices and also being able to apply it within the APAC region itself, especially in Singapore. While we know that each of the region have their unique culture and practice, but there are areas that we do not have to reinvent the wheel, and we could actually apply it very quickly into Singapore market or even in markets within the region itself. And we are in constant communication with other regions. We have our weekly and our bi-weekly calls. We talk about some of this business practice, some of this so-called situation that we face due to the pandemic, due to some of this market launch. And from all this learning, we are able to maybe so-called avoid some of the pitfalls when we are launching some of the new products in the market itself. And importantly is having communications that are being able to send out to our franchisees to ensure that, number one, they are aware of the changes, and then they are able to cascade down the information to the sandwich artists who are the one that is facing the customers in the restaurant itself, and they are being made aware of how the new products are being made, what are some of the key selling point of the products as we launch into the market itself.
That's fabulous. It's a good list of good practices as a franchisor, especially in how you want to establish and expand your reach through these franchisees, not just here in Singapore, but other parts of Asia, even the world. Let's turn to you, Brian. You are this is very interesting, Korean Express Facial Salon, and you've won the Promising Franchisor of the Year award at the FLA 2022. What would you attribute to clinching this recognition?
So K-Skin is a Korean Express facial salon that focus on offering affordable and effective facial treatment. So our USP is we do not sell packages and there's no appointment required. So customer just need to drop by at any of our 33 shops, conveniently located at major shopping malls, purchase their favorite treatments and just wait to be served. So for K-Skin, because of such easy access, to a quick and affordable facial, we are able to reach out to more people in Singapore.
Yeah, I had that chance. Didn't have to make a prior appointment. In fact, they don't even take appointments yesterday, right? Afternoon, so managed to pop in and enjoyed my short 15 minutes.
I must say, you're looking quite glowy this morning, Stanley.
It's all K-Skin. Brian, and I'm sure winning the award is, an outer expression, I suppose, of inner success in your philosophy as a franchisor. How do you view and how do you relate to your franchisees to bring out the best in them and ultimately in having, your brand being well represented?
We actually work very closely with our franchisee. We provide a detailed training program for franchisees and their staff. So furthermore, we provide our marketing support for their shop opening as well as their subsequent ongoing marketing campaigns. So on a bi-weekly basis, our franchise manager will touch base with our franchisees to understand their business. Are they facing any challenges? And also to see how we can continue to support them. So every month, our franchise managers will conduct a mystery audit at the various shops to check on the hygiene level, the cleanliness, the lighting, and also the facade of the shop. At the same time, we also offer our franchisees the option to learn hands-on skills, in fact, on our machines and tools.
And I'm sure that the expansion of your brands will continue as you continue to look for even more franchisees to come on board, whether be it here in Singapore or other countries as well. So from a franchisor perspective, both for Brian and David, describe for us the sort of ideal, if you like, relationship that you'd like to have for your organization with the franchisees. Let's hear from Brian before we hear from David.
For K-Skin, we believe in developing a win-win relationship with our franchisees. So when our franchisees join K-Skin, we welcome them into our family. Being family members, we take care of each other. We share important information. We communicate openly, and we pass on the good DNAs, to our staff, so that when our franchisees expand more shops with us, we are confident that the DNAs of the brand will be replicated and we continue to grow stronger over time.
Yeah, and David.
So I think one of the key factors, like I've mentioned before, is about having...
This is Money Mind with Andrea Heng and Stanley Leong.
Thank you for joining us on CNA938's Money Mind. Now, this year's Franchising and Licensing Association Awards was held on the 27th of October to laud the outstanding successes of brands in the local franchise and license industry. The awards, which is in its 16th edition, was launched by the Franchising and Licensing Association Singapore, and it was first launched in 2005.
The awards comprise both competitive and recognition awards and is made up of 11 different categories that honor various stakeholders in the franchise and license industry, namely franchisors, franchisees, and licensors. We speak with representatives of two winning companies now on Money Mind. First up, Brian Heng, Director of KC Group of Companies, which owns the brand K-Skin. K-Skin was recognized as Promising Franchisor of the Year at the FLA Awards 2022.
That's right. We also have from Subway Systems Singapore, David Leong, who is its Director of Regional Development. Subway Systems won the award for International Franchisor of the Year. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for joining us here on CNA938.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for having us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for making time, both of you. Firstly, let's hear from maybe David first before we hear from Brian as to what the key aspects of being a franchisor of good repute and a franchisor of choice would be. David, your thoughts on this?
Right. I think as a brand owner, I think there's two key elements here. One is the patience and also open communications with our franchisees. the ability to be able to listen to our franchisees is very valuable. We hear from them exactly what are some of their thoughts and what are some of the challenges when they are operating the brand with us. In some way, we have a few different tools that we use to be able to work closely with the franchisees to understand what are they going through, like our franchisee meetings. We also conduct listening tours where our regional presidents and head of functions will be visiting different countries on a quarterly basis. We will actually go into the restaurant and meet the franchisees